Hello everybody, I'm Neon Inchman, and while this may be the first video on this channel, this is actually a long time coming. So because I have writer's block, I'll just get straight to the point, no storyline needed here. This is actually a pretty technical video. By putting the void biome into a very specific world gen, using science to cripple the experience as much as Mojang intended, and barely surviving in that world for a whole week of streaming. This is without a doubt the worst way to play Minecraft. To understand what that means, if the idea of a miserable survival experience was to create a superflight with the void preset, well, the breakthrough would already be over as I forbid cheats, and I can't even say I'd be playing on this stone platform. This goes without saying that there are no mods or files taken online for this challenge run. Everything you will see is in vanilla Minecraft, as hard as it may be to believe. And basically, after creating a random seed world, I must get to a point where I can interact with the game's core mechanics, create, explore, and not having to starve every 20 minutes or so, because that would be actually playing Minecraft. Having to create my world now, the Void is a somewhat infamous biome as it's available in buffet worlds, and it's exactly as you've seen here as a single biome world, plain grey stone litter the entire overworld with some water mixed in, and it's so desolate that only the naturally gifted may naturally spawn. This really is the most bare bones Minecraft ever gets. However, you may be instead familiar with the grassy version that's been there post 1.17. I must make it clear though that the stony and grassy voids are very different beasts, and I would actually love going into how much they differ, but not at this time for the sake of brevity. For now, just keep in mind the Nether is what unlocks all opportunities to, live, and the grassy void has lava lakes, which the stony void lacks, so in order to maximize pain, I use an older version from the installation menu to stick with Stone Luigi. I still need lava, but there is another way, and it's the one thing stony voids have an advantage: strongholds, which cannot even be located with Eyes of Ender nor commands, as odd as it is. These can have everything needed to make a nether portal: wood for workbench, iron ingots for a bucket, and of course, lava from the end portal room for the obsidian. This also means that the end is accessible. So to put a bow on it, I will kill the ender dragon too, as I'd be the first person to beat the void. That's the gist of it at least, but there are yet more ways to make the experience insufferable. For instance, I forbid the seed command, because yes, I consider it a cheat. Well, not really, but what would stop me from inputting my world seed into external tools not Mojang intended, or to scout in a separate world? The opportunity for me to get an advantage like this is there, so my only real way to prove I didn't do it and what I'm doing is actually achievable by a human is I couldn't close my game for 8 days straight. Yeah. But so, if I cannot use Eyes of Ender, let alone make them, then my only other option is to stumble upon a stronghold by dumb luck in the first radius of 3 of them, 1280 blocks to 2816 blocks away from point 0. And for good measures, with the reducedDebugInfo game rule turned on, so that I get rid of all these useful tidbits on the F3 menu, most notably coordinates telling me if I'm even in that first ring. Maximize pain. The world type is important too. I've omitted that I'm not playing on a single biome, but instead the caves type, which was removed post 1.17 alongside floating islands. Strongholds are also encased in stone in the version I'm playing, so it is imperative we learn how to see one from the outside. Despite their exterior shell being made of the same blocks as their surroundings, if you look carefully, strongholds are encased in these weird but recognizable bubble shapes. On floating islands in particular, they clearly stick out like a sore thumb, and after getting these shapes rammed into your skull, you will start noticing these almost spherical shapes sticking out the walls and floors, which is our vital clue of the likelihood of a stronghold. In order to navigate the world, though, even if strongholds are by the water in the last examples, there are times I must dig holes through walls and even make staircases, upward and downward, because making detours isn't always viable, and I can't just take any damage as this would impair my hunger, thus how far I can walk, because yes, I cannot run at all either to make the best use of each of my lives. However, a void world is a lot about taking chances, and breaking stone blocks bare-handed takes a lot of time, as each piece takes 7.5 seconds to break, even more if I must do it from the water, so when I end up with a dead end anyway, it makes the grind feel like a waste of time. Still though, it's worth bringing up that I do not have an in-game map, I can only rely on a mental one. So as the search can take on multiple days, if I pass through the same areas multiple times, it is worth taking some time to dig and even leaving some symbols, as it makes getting my bearings in subsequent trips much easier. I also don't have a compass, and it's just as easy to lose track of where north is. But there are a few more ways to get my bearings. The clouds, sun, and moon always set towards the west, and the top of stone textures, and for that matter water, they make these lines that are always parallel from west to east. So I can always look at the underground clouds and then the floor for much needed guidance that really helped me a lot. Still, this much would be manageable despite the tedium, of course. Sure, that means exploring a huge ring while constantly dying in order to refill my hunger, but this isn't my first rodeo either, so I'm much better off than I was on my first Void World. But why not play on Snapshot 21W13A to make it 100 times worse still? Maximize pain. This is actually terrible. That's saying a lot with everything so far. This is from an handful of snapshots that have buffet worlds fully use the build limits of -64 to 319 without making the void grassy even. This would be cool, but strongholds are 40 to 60 blocks deep under the water level, with a lot of twisting flooded caves surrounding them that can risk hiding them from plain sight. Diving that deep also takes half of my hair meter, and I would already be on the verge of drowning, so it'd be impossible to just break in while swimming. The only way then is to dig down starting from the surface, as this creates an airspace. But look at the example I'm showing right now, and you can see that going straight down would be impossible as the water is in the way. So this requires another approach. So let's say this is a stronghold. Okay, cool, I saw one. But so the problem that I may encounter is that it's in the middle of the bottom of an enormous lake. It would be impossible for me to just be like on top of it from the surface of water and yeah, just bust in. That's just impossible. So instead, I would have to dig down from one of the sides of that lake, continue digging underneath the bottom, and sometimes popping out my head to make sure I'm on the right track. And then finally I can dig up into the stronghold. Well, that's cool, but that's a lot of work since I have to break all of this stone. The other scenario that can happen is that, okay, you can be pretty much on top of the stronghold, so to say, at least from the surface of the water, but there are all of these flooded caves that just prevent you from just digging straight down to it. So what you have to do is that, okay, you have to use the pillars and cave walls to dig in diagonals, while once again peeking your head out every now and then to to see if you're going the right way, and then eventually you reach the bottom of say the ocean, and yeah, again you dig underneath it to then finally reach the stronghold. Again, this may not look too bad, but keep in mind that you're pretty much digging almost blind, and there's a lot of stone blocks to break bare-ended, which each piece take 7.5 seconds. So this is a real time sink. This isn't all there is either. Peeking outside my tunnels, let alone breaking the wrong blocks, there's always the risk of flooding what I already dug up without being able to stop it. So I also need to dig holes next to the base of my tunnels to force the water out of the way. All these precautions take yet more time, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Furthermore, yet more problems butt in due to strongholds being as deep as they are. As everything looks the same due to being made of one block, looking for strange shapes from outside these oceans is not good at all, but it's not much better to plunge in as the underwater effects greatly reduce visibility, which forced me to dive deeper to be in viewing range of any stronghold, which I repeat takes off my oxygen. So I only have a second or less to scan the area, and as you see in this footage, I would repeatedly dive and resurface to make sure I'm not missing anything. It's really annoying to play like this. Thankfully though, I can go into third-person view, sprint swim by pressing the run key while swimming, then orient the camera slightly upward and just right so that it's exactly below the surface but without triggering the underwater effects. This gives a clear view of the ocean floor. The problem with that though is this locks the camera at a very specific angle, so I can only really look at stuff from far away, but I still much prefer this as I can go into a cruise state. However, yet another problem goes on top. Swimming takes a lot of hunger, so much so it took me off guard. So while in my floating islands let's plays, I could survive for hours as I never sprint, here in the caves, most of my lives are just about 40 minutes long, so it becomes this constant and rapid cycle of searching and dying. And even just going back to my previous location takes away so much energy, so the further I go, the less time I have to comb the area. You must keep in mind, there are only 3 strongholds in a radius of about 3,000 blocks, and it's clear by now it'd be near impossible to go beyond that. That is in a way that's realistic. Some strongholds may be easier to notice than others for sure, but if I look only on one side, they could blend in too well with the environment. So I must search everywhere as thoroughly as possible, including back where I came from, as looking from different perspectives may be what saves me from going over one without noticing. But sadly, despite all precautions I can take, despite all the little techniques I've made for myself, it is just as likely that I pass over a stronghold regardless, thus making me go around my world for yet more thousands of blocks. There are even the risks of false positives. Why yes, there may be these strange bubble shapes, but they were just part of the natural generation, so I'd be wasting time for real. But even that is better than having a false negative. Lastly, I've been omitting something else. So, all the cave footage until now was to make it easier on the eyes. But in reality, there are no light sources at all until I reach my goal. And the faraway fog and skybox, as you can see, they don't count. I didn't artificially enhance the brightness either, as I yearned for the true caving experience. So coupling this insane darkness with the lack of coordinates, and this being my first time in a void cave, I'm going blind in every sense of the term. And that's about everything. There isn't much of anything left to teach you. So I guess now it's all about doing it. On July 20th of 2024, I've created my first void cave looking for a stronghold. How exactly did it took me to find a stronghold then? 50 hours. 50 hours that I've been streaming all this, daily and for little more than a week. This is a huge part why I didn't do a step-by-step of key moments of this challenge, because I thought I would just be repeating myself. And well, I think it's very interesting to showcase what Mojang actually intended. Nonetheless, even if I love talking about Minecraft's insane tech, this was truly a soul-crushing experience, all the way through. See, in other grindy challenges, such as digging for a mega project or farming enemies, you at least get the reassuring feeling you progress a tad bit towards your goal and even get other stuff on the side. But here, you know for a fact you won't get anything until you enter a stronghold, and as the search goes on its third day and onward, and the false positives pile up, you start believing you've done something wrong and you've missed your chance, and you can't help but live with that thought, as there's nothing else to do, only punching stone and swimming. It's so incredibly boring that there isn't as much as a bat to cause a scene. You're on your own in this weird darkness and quiet. And really, the worst enemy is more abstract. I think it really was the delirium that got to me. It's also exhausting to keep an enormous mental map and hundreds of landmarks in my head 24/7. This challenge has always been on my mind. A question may be lurking at the back. Wouldn't it be better to reset seeds for better chances? But I believe that due to there being an astronomical luck factor to begin with, I don't think I need to repeat myself on everything, right? I could end up with worse odds anyway, if I created more random seeds. And I would always go back to square one as a result. As painstaking as it is, no progress is still progress, because I'm always narrowing down the possible location of a stronghold. In fact, I went through the entire northern half of my world without finding anything, which is disheartening for sure, since math proves that I've passed over one. But as I searched in the southern half, it was only a matter of time. What the fuck? What? Wait. This is totally it! What the fuck? This has to be it! No, this has to be it. This is the weirdest fucking shit. It doesn't really have the smooth texture, but it has the clumps of weird bubbles. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is the time where I am like 100% certain there's something weird. Like there's no shadow of a doubt. This has to be it. Now, how to get in there, though? So again, how can I might be able to go in from there. Just weird. I have to make this weird ass staircase. Shit. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'll do a staircase here, I guess. Yeah? I guess I'll do it from here. Because, again, I have to go at an angle. Oh boy. Again, things are exciting. Now. Better not drown now, though. You know? And in retrospect, like, this seems about, like, what I expect. It's just, like, this part here and this part here, like I don't know, it looks weird, like, but again, like, there's some part that do look like a stronghold. Oh my god. Yeah. Well, I guess we're still going at it. Oh, that's boring. There's going to be another twisting path, but... So yeah, is this good enough? Well, I don't know, I guess we can start digging toward it. Like, I'm not sure if I need to go further south, but I think I'm down enough. I'm feeling down. But no, like, I think I'm good enough. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, okay. Oh my god, we're right there, okay. I don't want to activate that silverfish. Because, I would hardly be able to defend myself. For one thing. Yeah, it's not like I could, like, place blocks to block them. There it is. Okay, yeah, there we go. I guessed it perfectly. Finally, some light. Oh my god. Finally, I spy. Ah. Finally. Of course. There's no button for this. Oh, sure, game. Well, we are here. Okay, let me breathe a bit. Oh my god, finally! There we go. Okay, we got it. We got the 3 ingots. Oh my god. And we even got an iron pickaxe. Well, what's in there? Wow, what the shit? Okay, that's good. Huh, empty. A compass! What the fuck is this seed? Dude, what the fuck? 3 iron picks in 1 stronghold. Dude, this is insane. Again, it's been very fun. Just, The Nether went as normally as you would expect, actually. I spawned right into a warp forest, which was the best biome for someone like me to start in. I was able to make my tools, I slowly farmed for ender pearls for later, and there was even part of a nether waste like 2 dozen blocks away, so I made a quick zombie piglin farm so I could get gold but also food, even if it was rotten. But finally I can survive in this world and even build later if I want, so I can finally play Minecraft as normally as the world allows it. And on top of that, there was a nether fortress not too far off either, so luck was on my side here. I was very happy about it after everything I went through. So with everything in place, I could enter the end, and yeah, there was one final surprise I left for you. See, I purposely chose Snapshot 21W13A because the end islands are abnormally huge, including the main island. This also means that the end crystals are underground. I blew some of them up, but I was sick. I was sick and tired of having to dig blindly, so I just went to the surface. And actually, I learned that the surface of the main island is so high that the end crystals do not reach the Ender Dragon. But there was a mechanic I didn't know about until then. But if the more end crystals are intact, the less times the Ender Dragon will purge in the middle platform. So yeah, the fight was long-winded, and honestly I died a lot because I was ill prepared. Because I just wanted to be done with it. I shouldn't say it, but after 50 hours of grinding for a stronghold, like, I just wanted to say I've beaten the void. Like, I could have done the Ender Dragon fight better, but whatever. I guess this will suffice. Like, it was the journey that was more important. So yeah, finally I'm the first person to beat the void.
Yeah, well, that was a shit end again because of the way I played. Oh well. There you go.
I shall leave you with this. Like, you know, I will not hide that this challenge wasn't fun for the most part. So why did I even do this? Well, you know, it was fun to talk to the folks in the live chat, but despite the lows being excruciatingly low and long, the high has been the biggest one I've had in a long ass time and was totally worth it. Thank you for watching this, and see you next time, hopefully.